$450 million for the F-16s. Does it indicate the beginning of a new, better, improved relationship, or?
Well, it's an important step, and it's another signal of the importance we place on Pakistan, and this F-16 relationship has been very critical to us for decades now. But of course, the relationship between the United States and Pakistan is much broader than the military-to-military relationship, as important as that is. And one of the things we talked about during my trip there a week ago now, was about the broad spectrum of issues that we share, both the challenges we have, including right now the floods, but also the hopes we have for the future.
So can we just say that actually the United States is very clearly maintaining a balance between between its relations with the military and the civilian government and the Pakistani opposition parties? Do you find it a difficult situation to deal with?
Well, we're working with the government of Pakistan, but we have long ties to Pakistan's government, Pakistan's military, but also, importantly, Pakistani society. And the people-to-people ties between our countries are very strong, and it's something we hope to maintain and build upon. But we're working to have good relations with the government of Pakistan. It's the 70th anniversary of our relationship, and it's a moment to reflect on the past and the journey that we've traveled, but also to imagine the future and what we're going to try to build together.
Would it be right to say that you don't want to be seen as supporting any particular group, military or civilian?
We believe in working closely with the government of Pakistan. We have close relations across the board. I have very good talks during my delegation's trip with the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister, but I also met with General Bajwa. Particularly given the challenges Pakistan faces, it's important that we have these close relationships across the board.
What would be your immediate thought? What does it come to your mind?
Just devastation that's hard to get your mind around. I mean, the entire parts of the country almost look like lakes or small seas, given the amount of water. The devastation goes as far as the eye can see. This is something that's a near-term crisis for Pakistan, given all the people that have been displaced, but it's also going to be a medium to long-term crisis for Pakistan, as communities are going to be underwater for quite some time. It's going to devastate crops, and it's going to create disease and other medical issues that are going to require long-term help.
And so it does mean that food shortage? So do you see a lot of people will go hungry?
Well, I can't talk specifics yet, but it's clear that there are going to be significant numbers of key crops in Pakistan that have been wiped out by these floods. And so this is something we've been very focused on. It's why the United States has provided thus far $55 million in support for Pakistan. You've seen U.S. military aircraft land in Pakistan filled with supplies for the Pakistani people. This is something we're going to need to stay focused on as a world to try to help Pakistan at this desperate moment.
And how serious is the threat of a disease outbreak?
Well, I think it's going to be quite serious, just given the amount of standing water that you're seeing with mosquito-borne diseases. It's quite high. And so this is something I know the government of Pakistan is very focused on, as we are as well here in the United States.
Are you satisfied with the response of the international community so far?
Well, I think even though we've done quite a bit, the United States leading the way, clearly more needs to be done. This is going to be very difficult for many people in Pakistan for many, many months as they try to rebuild their lives and their livelihoods given the devastation from the floods. The world's going to need to step up and be there for Pakistan in this moment.
And what is preventing the world from doing more?
Well, there's a lot going on in the world, unfortunately. There's a massive humanitarian crisis in Europe, the largest Europe has seen since the Second World War. Pakistan has seen itself just in recent years massive humanitarian disasters. All countries are facing these kinds of challenges, even here in the United States. We've had a fair number of devastating floods or wildfires. But nevertheless, what we're seeing, the scale, the scope of the damage and destruction in Pakistan is something that all of us are going to need to step up and help for many months to come.
You see that happening? Their help coming?
I hope it can. I know the United States is going to do its part. Our conversations in the coming week in New York around the UN General Assembly will remain focused on the flood situation, and we're going to remain very closely coordinated with our colleagues throughout Pakistan on the way forward.
And the UN chief, while talking about the floods, when he visited you, I think you were there when he was there, yeah. And he, among other things, he also suggested reconsidering Pakistan's debts. I mean, asked lender countries to do something about that. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to look at all of this. Pakistan had a very positive vote in the IMF just before the floods really captured the world's attention. Of course, this flooding has been occurring for the past several months, but this recent IMF decision was very important. But when it comes to Pakistan's economy, clearly this flood situation is only going to exacerbate the significant challenge the Pakistani government had.
And you would support the demand for...
I don't want to get ahead of our decisions here, but it's something, clearly the economic devastation that's been wrought by these floods is something we're going to have to take into account when assessing how to help Pakistan in the months ahead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.